In 1994, a 16-year-old kid from Massachusetts writes a letter to the Boston Globe. He's not a coach, he's not a player, he's just some high schooler who thinks he knows how to run the Celtics better than Red Auerbach. The letter says, "Clean house. Trade away old veterans like Robert Parrish and get some salary cap room. And y'all should also tank for this offensive wizard from California named Jason Kidd. Build through the draft." That kid writer was Sam Presti. And 30 years later, he just executed that exact blueprint with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Only this time, he built something that might be completely unstoppable. Their core is 27, 24, and 23 years old. Their championship window stretches through at least 2031. And the same CBA rules designed to prevent dynasties are actively helping them build a super team while everyone else tears their rosters apart. I'm your host Kyle, and welcome to Basketball Business, where we explore how business decisions like stockpiling a million draft picks shapes the game of basketball. When the Seattle Supersonics moved to Oklahoma City in 2008, everyone assumed Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook were the key cornerstones of that franchise. 17 years later, it's clear that the unassuming 29-year-old GM they brought with them was the real cornerstone of that franchise. Sam Presti has been planning his basketball dynasty since he was 16 years old, and now we're seeing it unfold in real time. We all know about the 2019 Paul George trade by now. The Clippers thought they were going to get a dynasty, but it turns out the Thunder were the real winners. They got 5 draft picks, 2 pick swaps, Danilo Gallinari, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. But Sam Presti wasn't done accumulating assets. Between 2020 and 2023, when he realized the Thunder weren't in a position to contend, he pioneered a new strategy, turning cap space into draft picks by absorbing bad contracts. Philadelphia was desperate to dump Al Horford, so Presti takes a $109 million disaster, collects a few picks, and benches him immediately. He flips him 8 months later for even more picks. He did this with other aging veterans like Victor Oladipo, Kemba Walker, and Derek Favors. Empty cap space became full draft capital. By 2022, Presti had accumulated 38 total draft picks, 19 first-rounders and 19 second-rounders. The conveyor belt was loaded and ready for the 2022 draft. Championship foundations get built or destroyed here. The Thunder tanked, got the second overall pick, and the rights to take Chet Holmgren, a 7-footer who could shoot threes, protect the rim, and switch onto guards. Then he breaks his foot in a pickup game and misses his entire rookie season. But the Thunder don't panic. They also made a selection at number 12 overall from that Paul George trade 3 years earlier, and they chose Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara. Scouts questioned his age, but the Thunder scouting department saw a 6'6" wing with a 7'2" wingspan who could handle, pass, and defend multiple positions. Holmgren's elite, a rim protector, a stretch 5, all the tools for the modern NBA. But J-Dub might be the real prize. He's producing at an all-NBA level while defending 4 positions and being the second option on a really great finals team. The Paul George trade directly yielded their second best player, who might end up being more valuable than the second overall pick. Bad teams get lucky breaks too. They just don't capitalize. The Suns, Kings, and Hawks passed on Luka. The Pelicans couldn't build around AD or Zion. The Mavericks got Cooper Flagg after one of, if not the worst trade in all of NBA history. They say luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Well, Presti and his scouting department have both the picks to take multiple swings and the infrastructure to develop them. With his core now in place, all he needed to do was prove the system could sustain a championship. Thunder fans were tired of the tank, and Sam Presti was more than happy to stop tanking and test out his conveyor belt system in real time.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
So let's go to the 2023-24 season. The Thunder have a 57-25 record, tied for best in the West. But Dallas exposes their weaknesses in the second round, turning Josh Giddey into a cone on defense and abusing their lack of size and veteran presence. The response to this loss showed how the system works. Giddey was a 6th overall pick, all-rookie second team, but clearly a Tier 2 player. Good, not great. 18 days after elimination, Presti trades him for seasoned vet Alex Caruso without giving up a single draft pick. Not even a protected second rounder. He swaps a liability for championship experience and elite defense, exactly what the Thunder roster needed. 8 days later, he signs Isaiah Hartenstein to address those size issues. Y'all know what happens 1 year later. 68-14, and the favorites to win the championship all season long, and they do just that. SGA wins regular season MVP, the scoring title, and the finals MVP, just the 4th player ever to do that. Then came the real test. Every champion bleeds talent. Boston traded half their core this past offseason. Denver and Milwaukee lost key pieces to the second apron. But the Thunder brought every rotation player back, extended their 3 best players for $822 million, and they're somehow still under the second apron. The conveyor belt system wasn't theoretical anymore. It was championship proven, and it operates on 3 distinct tiers. Tier 1, the untouchables: Shea, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren. Max contracts through 2031. They locked in Shea at 35% of the salary cap, Chet and Jalen Williams at 25% each, though J-Dub could hit 30% with the right accolades. So worst case scenario, they have 90% of the cap going to 3 players. But here's what really matters. What percentage of that is the second apron? Because that's the real salary cap now. Tier 2, the trade assets. Young players who show promise but aren't elite. Your Josh Giddeys of the world. Trade them in years 3 or 4 of rookie deal before they get expensive. Maximum value extraction. Proven NBA talent, but still on a cheap, cost-controlled contract. This is how you acquire championship pieces like Alex Caruso without gutting your asset chest. Tier 3, the replacements. Presti will have a continuous supply of them with his 13 first-round draft picks. They're cost-controlled for 4 years, and some graduate to Tier 2, like Case and Wallace. Very few will reach Tier 1. This is the organizational depth and trading currency for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Giddey trade proved this tiered conveyor belt system works. He was a 6th overall pick, all-rookie team, and had solid stats. But after year 3, the Thunder decided they saw enough and traded him for Alex Caruso before Giddey got really expensive. Chicago paid him 4 years, $100 million this past offseason, but the Thunder avoided that 4th massive contract on their books, and they got a championship piece out of it, and they kept the conveyor belt running.
Yeah, now I got a real one. Now nobody can say anything.
Everyone talks about the second apron like it's going to destroy the Thunder's dynasty before it even starts. Here's why that's completely backwards. The Thunder are 4 tax-paying seasons away from repeater penalties where the tax bills really hurt, and 3 second apron seasons away from the harshest draft pick and team-building penalties. But the current CBA has an opt-out after 28-29 season. So we have 4 seasons before the CBA is ripped up. The worst penalties might not even hit the Thunder. Meanwhile, Boston traded Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis because of tax concerns. Denver had to move on from KCP and Bruce Brown. The Thunder lost Adam Flagler? The second apron restrictions, no mid-level exception, limited trade aggregation, no buyout market, only hurts teams needing external additions. The Thunder can use their 13 first-round picks to replace departing players with cheap rookies. Pick penalties don't matter to them because they control first-rounders from other teams. If OKC's picks drop to 30, they still have unprotected Clippers and Rockets picks, very valuable swaps. The 2020 Clippers swap might be the most valuable asset in the NBA. Kawhi will be 35 and potentially booted off the Clippers, James Harden 37, both declining or even retired. And the way they structured their contracts should be negotiation 101 for any aspiring NBA GM. Holmgren's extension starts at 25% of the cap and stays at 25% of the cap, saving them over $10.1 million annually versus a supermax. J-Dub's contract only escalates to 30% if he wins MVP, DPOY, or first team All-NBA, not second or third team. So they're saving $32 million over both deals. OKC has convinced every one of their stars to skip the 5th-year player option on their rookie extension. Durant, Westbrook, SGA, and now Chet and Jalen Williams. Good luck to them when Brooks Barnhizer is due for his max extension. When other contenders face roster-breaking financial decisions, the Thunder can maneuver under restrictions while maintaining championship competitiveness. Presti told the media,
"The NBA is not a chess game, it's a poker game, right? Chess, you set everything up, everyone has the same pieces, and you start from there. That's not the NBA. It's poker. Everyone's got a different hand that they've been dealt."
But the second apron strategy is only half of it. Sam Presti has timed multiple revenue explosions to hit right when the luxury tax bills will become crushing. In 2028, the Thunder's new billion-dollar arena opens. It's 90% publicly funded, $850 million coming from a city sales tax, and only $50 million from ownership. Conservative estimates are adding an additional $40 to $60 million in annual arena revenue starting precisely when the luxury tax bills escalate. Around that same time, NBA expansion, probably to Seattle and Las Vegas. Expansion fees project to be between $4 and $7 billion per team after the Celtics sold for $6.1 billion and the Trailblazers sold for about $4.5 billion. Those fees are split among existing owners as pure profit. Nothing goes to the players. So the Thunder share will be $300 to $400 million. That's a one-time payment covering multiple years of the luxury tax right there. We're entering year 1 of the new 11-year, $77 billion media rights deal. The salary cap jumps from $154 million this season to projected $220 million by the 2030 season. The Thunder's current massive max contracts will represent smaller percentages of the cap every year because they only can go up a maximum of 8%, while the cap will go up 10% every year. Basketball business is booming in OKC. Clay Bennett and his group purchased the franchise for $350 million in 2006. They're currently valued at $4.5 to $5 billion post-championship. By 2028, projected at $6 to $7 billion. That equity growth over 20 plus years provides massive leverage for financing if needed. Perfect timing. New arena revenue, salary cap growth, expansion fees, and booming franchise valuations all converging at the end of the decade, right when the luxury tax bills will spike. And here's the kicker. By the time the Thunder face truly punitive second apron penalties, like no aggregating salaries and multiplied tax rates, we'll be in 2029 or 2030, right when the CBA can be renegotiated. In the most recent NBA.com GM survey, 26% of executives already cited apron rules too harsh as the top change needed. They want cap discounts for homegrown players and the ability to trade partial contracts, things that directly help OKC. In the past, the league has walked back overly restrictive rules. The Thunder are betting that by the time their bills come due, those penalties will be softened or eliminated. While contenders like the Knicks and the Timberwolves operate under draconian restrictions now, the Thunder's expensive core might compete with far fewer limitations.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station. Fire at will, Commander.
Sam Presti has built a Death Star of a franchise, but like the actual Death Star, there's a fatal flaw in the system. Drafting is ultimately a crapshoot, no matter how good your scouting department is. The Thunder's hit rate has been historically unsustainable. Look at their draft wins. KD at number 2 in 2007, Westbrook at 4 in 2008, Harden at 3 in 2009, 3 MVPs back to back to back. Also, Serge Ibaka at 24 in 2008, Steven Adams at 12 in 2013, Shea via trade after his rookie year, and I can confirm the Thunder were very high on him and tried to trade for him in the 2018 draft. And the previously mentioned very successful 2022 draft, Jalen Williams at 12 and Chet Holmgren at 2. Oh, and let's throw in Cason Wallace at 10 in 2023. They've hit on almost all of their lottery picks. League average is maybe 30%? But Po Buddy's nerfed. What happens when they draft Ousmane Dieng at number 11 in 2022 and he doesn't develop? They used that pick right before Jalen Williams to take Dieng, fired 3 lower value future firsts into the Sun to move up to that spot, and it doesn't even matter because they hit on J-Dub. But that only works when you're drafting at an elite level. Imagine if instead of Williams, they took AJ Griffin, the wing that went 14 picks after him, and retired at 21 to pursue a career in the ministry. The conveyor belt breaks when they trade someone like Lou Dort expecting to replace him with a rookie, but that rookie busts. Then the next one, and then the next one. They misevaluate and trade a tier 2 player who becomes an all-star elsewhere. Raw talent doesn't develop in their system. Who remembers Alexei Pokusevsky or Darius Bazley? Or other teams stop overpaying for the Thunder castoffs once they recognize this pattern. Although, dumb GMs will always exist, so maybe this one won't happen. The Warriors tried this conveyor belt system with Jordan Poole, James Wiseman, and Moses Moody. They were forced to trade Poole, Wiseman busted, and Moody is underwhelming. So they have to rely on an aging core plus expensive veterans now. The Thunder are betting they can win 2 to 3 championships before regression catches up to them. With their current core aged 24 to 27 years old, they have a 5-year window where the big 3 are in their primes, they can cycle through 1 to 2 more waves of rookies, and then the CBA might reset in their favor. If they draft at even a league average rate going forward, they'll still get 3 to 4 quality rookies. Enough to maintain competitiveness, but maybe not total dominance.
Go ahead, Bart.
Back to that 1994 letter. The 16-year-old advocating for his Celtics to clean house and build through the draft wasn't writing a hot take. He was developing his own philosophy. If Sam Presti was analyzing roster construction and salary cap management at 16, that means he's now been studying NBA patterns for 3 decades. He saw the Bulls dynasty rise and fall, witnessed the Lakers and Spurs sustain excellence, and why it went away. Observe the Heat's super team collapse. Learn from the Warriors' luxury tax implosion. His Insight and Foresight Department, Vice President Rob Hennigan leading strategic planning, data science, and information management makes a lot of sense now. That title is unprecedented in NBA front offices. Presti treats future projections not as a side project, but as core organizational competency. If you talk to people who know Sam Presti, it's clear what gets his blood pumping. Not the Durants or the SGAs, although they're great, but the high character, team first, cerebral, gritty players who will do anything to win. This is proven by him giving Kenrich Williams a 4-year, $27 million deal after averaging 7.4 points for a 24-win team. His legal name is Samuel Presti Giacomo. Of course, the GM building an empire like a mafia don has an Italian last name. While competitors build expensive cores before getting hit with those second apron constraints, Presti designed his roster knowing these rules were coming. The irony, NBA owners created a second apron to prevent sustained dominance, but built a system where the Thunder are uniquely positioned to dominate. As scary as it sounds, OKC's window for championship contention is realistically open until 2031. By then, SGA will be 32, J-Dub 29, and Holmgren 28, but they'll have a continuous pipeline of cheap young talent behind them until then. The rest of the league is competing with Oklahoma City's roster. The Thunder are competing with time itself. Thanks for watching this video. If you made it this far, you probably liked the video, so go ahead and let me know by hitting that thumbs up button. Subscribe to Basketball Business for more great content on how the off-court moves shape the on-court game. Until next time, this is Kyle with Basketball Business.